What's good, YouTube family? Thank y'all for tuning back into another video. Make sure that y'all like, comment, subscribe, and watch through the whole video. This really helps a lot because it puts me more in YouTube's algorithm. It helps me to continue to grow and to reach more people and help more people while using the gifts and abilities that God has given me to glorify Him and His name, to spread the gospel, and to make Him and His name known. Right now, I'm cutting his hair down with the number 4 guard, and I'm just making sure that I get everything cut, go over it in multiple angles, just because when it's straight hair and you're cutting it down like that, you know, sometimes you gotta go over it at different angles, like I said, to get all the hairs to cut to the same length, and you want to make sure everything is as even as possible. Now I have a number 3 guard, and I'm going up to the parietal ridge, and I'm just going to clear the bottom section out. We're doing a high taper on this client, so I'm going to bottom his mouth from the bottom of the vertebral bar to the top of the ear. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the sideburn. Y'all, I'm telling y'all, he's going to look like a completely different person by the time he leave, and you don't want to miss it. So make sure you go watch through the whole thing. With the ball lines, make sure that the ball line is like the foundation of the haircut, and it's going to play a big factor in determining how clean and even of a haircut that you can give. So make sure that when you set them in, you set them in nice, clean, neat, and even. In the back, I pretty much set it straight across though, and then make sure that just the other side, that the sides are opposite reciprocal, because you want to make sure that your fades are going to look the same on both sides and your lineups when you go to line them up. As far as the vertical part, that's what I'm talking about with the lineup part. So to begin my fading process, I have my Babyless Low Pro FX clipper, and I'm going to go up about 1/2 inch to establish my guideline. I'm going to flick out. Then when my guideline is established, I'm going to lay my blade flat and go to the top of the guideline. Next, I'm going to close my lever halfway, go halfway up the guideline. I'm going to close my lever a little bit more and tap that bottom line to soften it up. And then I'm going to close my lever all the way, tap the bottom line, and take the line out completely. And I believe that from the lever open and close is the most important part of the fade, because to me it's like the foundation of the fade, and it's going to play a big factor in determining how clean and even of a fade that you can give, because it's really like it's the beginning of the fade. So now I have my number 1 guard, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing. I'm going to set my first line in, kind of flicking out, going up about 1/2 inch, making sure that I go over it multiple times just to make sure that all the hairs are the same length or close to the same length as possible. Next, I'm going to close my lever halfway, go halfway up it, then I'm going to close my lever all the way, tap the bottom line. And I know it's not going to take that line out, but it's going to soften it up for me to come in with my 0 guard and take it out completely. So with the 0 guard, I look at it as an eraser guard or a detail guard. So with that being said, I'm going to do a lot of detail work with it. And by detail work, I mean lever play, so open and closing my lever or my blade when need be, and corner work using the last couple teeth of my blade or the corner of my blade to pinpoint dart spots, bring them to the light, and make the fade as smooth as possible. So now I have a number 2 guard, and I'm going up right where we left off with that number 3 when I went up into the around the head to start the cut. And I'm just gonna go open to closed, and every time that I close my lever or my blade, I'm going to come down on the fade. And you can see that this number 2 guard really softened that pretty harsh line that we had at the top, and it's bringing it together. And now I have my number 1.5 guard, and I look at the 1.5 guard as a detail guard too, just like the 0 guard. So pretty much I'm just doing detail work with the 1.5 guard. But basically with the 1.5 guard, I'm going to start with the blade open, go where we left off with that number 2 closed, and then I'm going to close the lever halfway and move down on the fade, and I'm going to close the lever all the way and come down on the fade a little more. You already know what I like to get into on this side, so we're going to go ahead and get into the message. My message for today, y'all, I got a new phone, so the first person I wanted to talk to when I got my new phone is my grandma. I just wanted to hear her voice on my new phone, because it's such a blessing to be able to call my grandma. And not only to be able to call my grandma, but to be able to call my grandma and talk about God. So we was just talking about God and just growing closer to Him and seeking Him. I told my grandma, hey grandma, basically I called her hey, I just want to call and tell you to have a good day and I love you. And then we just got to talking, and I told her grandma, I've been waking up early and seeking God early because I've been waking up at 6:33 because Matthew 6:33 says, "But seek ye first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all these things will be added to you." So I've been waking up early to seek God, and my grandma got me this book that has a lot of God's names in it. It has 31 different names for God. So like I've been waking up and studying that, and it just feels so good, like to be able to just wake up and spend time with God. And we was just talking about like, as a man of God and a woman of God, like as men and women of God, we can't be lazy in our work for God. Like it's so much that God has for us to do, and you don't want to get to a point where you're just stagnant. You want to always be seeking God and always saying, doing, being all He called us to say, doing, be. But yeah, man, do not get lazy in this walk. Like really, this run. Don't get lazy in this run with God. When you get saved, you get born again. It's like that's the beginning, and it's like once you get saved and you've been doing things for years and you know a lot of the Bible, it's like you have all this information. The Bible says, "To whom much is given, much is required." So God is gonna require a lot of you because you have a lot of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of Him and His Word. So it's up to you to teach others about God. And you know, it's just a great conversation I got to have with my grandma this morning. So I just wanted to encourage some of y'all, whether you're just now getting to know God, I want to encourage you to see God, His kingdom, and His righteousness first, and His righteousness first, and everything else be added to you. And if you've already known God for a long time, you have an intimate personal relationship with Him already, and you know you've been doing it for years and years. Like my grandma's been saved for years, like probably 50 or more. So yeah, I just want to encourage y'all to seek God, His kingdom, and His righteousness first, let everything else be added to you. Like God is gonna bring everything together for your life. Make sure that you seek Him first in all that you do. That's my message for today. Matthew 6:33. Seek God, His kingdom, and His righteousness first, and everything else be added to you. And don't be lazy. Do everything that God's put on your heart to do. Like the discipline, consistency, faith, and obedience to God and His word, you have to build those muscles. So go ahead and put that work in and build the muscles. For the back, y'all, I basically am like just showing you guidelines. So I went from the bottom with the blade open, then I did the 1 open, and then I went in with the number 2 open to closed and kind of faded down. And then I took the 1.5 right where we left off with the 2, and I just went open to close, and every time I closed it, I moved down on the fade. Now I have my number 1 guard on, pretty much doing the same thing. I had it started with the open, and then as I move down on the fade, I'm going to close the lever and tap that bottom line, the last one that you can see. Now I have a 0.5 with the babeless, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing on this little bottom line. It's going to open and close. Making sure I'm consistent and going over everything multiple times. You can see the fade is coming together. Now I have the wall 0.5 or half guard, and I'm really just working at this bottom line to soften it up. I believe I'm going to take the bottom line out with masters, but I can't remember. I took this video. I definitely didn't take it this week, so we'll see. But that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah, so I like doing this with the masters because the blade's a little bigger. And when I say the blade's bigger, I mean like it opens up farther. So you just do more with it. But I'm just gonna work open to closed, and every time that I close my lever, I'm gonna move down on the fade. And that's gonna take this line out. And y'all, when I'm doing my fades, for the most part, I like to do them like, you can see, okay, I can't really explain that right now. Let me explain this ear line. With the ear line, y'all, I like to tap in the slant. And once it gets up to around the top of the ear, I like to use the last couple teeth of my blade or the corner of my blade to make the arch shape around the ear. And just make sure that when you're doing ear lineups that you don't push them back. You can get it nice and clean and like looking crazy good without pushing it back. Y'all can see he had a pretty good natural ear lineup around his ear. Basically all I had to do was tap in the back of his neckline. then a little bit around his ear. So you can see I'm gonna do the exact same thing on this side, and make sure that when you do your lineups, for the ear lineups, make sure that it's coming down evenly on both sides of the taper. Hopefully at like the back of the neck is coming down. Like you don't want one side to be like super sloped and slanted, and the other side to be like more natural. Make sure that you do them. Every part of the haircut needs to be the same on both sides. It should be opposite reciprocal. With his front lineup, y'all, I don't want to push it back. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm just lining in a natural way and get it clean. Then after my lineup, so this is what I was saying a minute ago when I said I can't explain that. When I'm doing my fade, I like to do it to where it's like, yeah, that's clean, but I know that I'm always gonna come in and do detail work after I do my lineup, so I don't spend too much time in one spot. Now I'm using my Crispy Lines razor, and I'm holding the razor at a 45-degree angle, making sure I stretch the skin. I'm gonna take my Babyliss trimmer and hit the bottom of this fade just to give it another level. And this is a cut, y'all. If you was able to sit through this video with me, I truly appreciate y'all. If y'all came to my channel because you like watching barber videos because it's satisfying, I hope this video satisfied you. If you came to learn something, I hope you take something from my game and apply it to yours. Advance in your career, in your craft, and in your life. And if you came for the message, I hope that it reached you and touched your heart, your soul, your mind, and your body. Y'all, please do me a favor. Make sure that y'all comment on this video. And if anything, man, leave a comment and guess what y'all think is in those boxes that's on the floor. Let me know what y'all think about this cut in the comment section, man. I think it turned out clean, taper butter, lineup popping. Y'all said y'all wanted some more straight hair videos. He came in, I really didn't feel like recording for real, but I went ahead and did it. And like I said, I think the cut turned out fire. Let me know what y'all think about this cut. Thank y'all for tuning into the Late Show. I'm humble at Jesus' feet. Without Jesus, I'm nothing but a filthy right side of God. I can't do anything. With Jesus, I am the righteousness of God, and I can do all things. The power, go on, and praise be to God. And yeah, thank y'all for tuning into the video. Hope to see you back on the next one, and God bless.